Hello and welcome to the Flag Motorsport Podcast. My name's Charlie Roscoe and I'm joined by expert livery designer Ryan from Ryan Lee Graphics and a man that will use any excuse to wear spandex. It's Willie. Welcome, gentlemen.
How you going?
G'day.
Now, on this episode, we have something a little bit different for you. We're actually joined by our very first driver of the year.
And he told us some pretty big news as well, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, he sure did. I'll cut straight to the interview now. Remember, if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you down in the comments or over on our Facebook, which you can find by searching for Flag to Flag Podcast, one word, or on our website, which is www.flagtoflag.ml, and of course the links will be in the description. I'd like to welcome our very first guest to the Flag to Flag Motorsport Podcast, the newest member of the Techno Autosports McLaren GT program, Fraser Ross. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, you've recently tested the McLaren 650S GT3 at the Queensland Raceway. How did the test go?
Yeah, it was a really good test day. It was the sole purpose of the day was just to get sort of comfortable in the car prior to the Clipsal 500, but it was a really good successful hit out in the car. It wasn't sort of a big change that I thought that I didn't expect from jumping from the Carrera Cup car to the GT car. Sort of wrapped my head around it pretty quickly, but to drive something with that amount of aero and the ABS was really good to have a steer of it.
Yeah, so the car was quite good at the track and all that sort of thing. You had no dramas, no problems you had to sort of push through?
No, I had no little gremlins or anything from the 12-hour. The car sort of had a big rebuild since the 12-hour.
Okay.
Because the car I'm actually running is the car that finished 5th at the event.
Right, yep.
Yeah, it was a storming effort through the race, that one.
Yeah, it had a mega recovery race. It was a shame that it had the 4 or 5 laps down at the start. It had some really good pace.
Yeah, exactly.
So the day went really well. It was just a very hot day out at Ipswich.
Yeah. How were sort of the times on the day? Were they looking good? What was some of the top times, I guess?
Definitely competitive. We didn't run a new tire, didn't do a green tire run, but which was have a set for practice at Clipsal. But look, the Tekno guys were very impressed and especially extremely happy with my first time in the car and where we sit. Sorry.
Yeah, no, good.
That's good. What expectations do you have going into the 2017 season?
Look, my expectations are I want to be at the front of the field. I want to be fighting for podiums from the get-go. The 650S is one of the best cars there is currently. As you saw last year, won the Sprint and the Endurance Championship, won the 12-hour. It also won in blank paint. It also won over in the GT Pirelli Championship over in the States. So it is a mega car. It's still quick, as you saw at the 12-hour. So we'll have. I'll also have a factory driver, Com Lottiger, partnering with me for the Clipsal event. So extremely excited to learn from him and his knowledge of the car and setup. But again, we're going there to be at the front.
That's pretty mega news there. I mean, that's one of the better drivers in the world in a McLaren at the moment. So, is that going to be a thing that goes on throughout the year, or just for the Clipsal?
Certainly, just for Clipsal at the moment. We haven't sort of worked out how we go for him for the rest of the year. But I think Clipsal and I potentially think Grand Prix, but just sort of play by his races overseas. But he's a great guy. I met him up at Bathurst, and he's phenomenal in the car. He's very, very quick, and he obviously was part of the blank paint team that won last year. So extremely excited to partner with him at Clipsal.
Yes, definitely saw some very, very good driving from I think he's French, isn't?
Yeah, he's French. Yep.
Yeah, so from the Frenchman, and I was very impressed with him last year in the blank paint alongside Rob Bell and Shane Van Gisbergen. But so last year when you took a bit of a step away from Carrera Cup, you test drove the GT4 at Sepang.
Yes.
Those are a fair bit slower than I was expecting when I saw the times at Bathurst. So what was your biggest opinion on the difference between those two, the GT3 and the GT4?
Oh, look, we can't really compare them, to be honest with you, because the GT4 is obviously it's a baby GT3, but it's slow. It's again slower than a Carrera Cup Porsche. So it's just for I guess for sort of the state level racing, and people moving from sort of club days into one of those things. But for what it is, it is a really good car. I had a bit of problems with the car over in Sepang, but it was a really cool car. So I'm looking forward to seeing that sort of. I think it'll be 1 year, sort of end of March, start of April, and seeing that campaign in I think the GT Trophy Series later in the year.
Yeah. Because I think there's going to be on two of them run through McLaren Zagamis or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, so the GT4s I saw were doing roughly around the 215 marker at Bathurst, which is obviously a bit of perspective when you're doing 202s and such around in the GT3s. So it's mobile bollards, but it adds to the fun, I guess.
Oh, it sure does. But it also gives people a chance to buy a GT4 car who probably maybe they can't afford to buy a GT3 car because the price is obviously significantly less. But sorry.
Exactly, it's a very good entry level sort of thing. And I mean, how did that sort of come about? Your test in Sepang, like for any budding drivers that are looking to get into it.
Well, mine's a little bit different. I work in an advertising agency, and my client is McLaren Automotive.
Well, that's worked out pretty well for yourself then.
I couldn't continue racing a Porsche, so put a deal together with Tekno to race the McLaren has been great. But yeah, with the Sepang, we just went over and took some customers, some sort of prospect customers from Australia who race in the Challenge, Porsche G3 Cup Challenge series, and just sort of showing them what this GT4 had to offer.
That certainly sounds like something good.
That was a good trip, really good.
Look, is there anything outside the Australian GT that's on the radar for 2017?
Look, I think my main focus and priority is wins and hopefully a title in sprint or endurance with the McLaren and the Australian GT Championship. I'll be competing in other events throughout the year, but nothing quite like the GT. It'll be more maybe historic based and training and stuff. But the main focus is the McLaren and Australian GT Championship.
Certainly nothing wrong with getting out in the old Shelby or the Mustang.
No, it's just going to be a little bit difficult. After racing at Clipsal, we're going to go straight to Phillip Island on the Historics and back into the McLaren Street Grand Prix.
How do you go switching between the cars, I guess?
I'll tell you after Phillip Island.
Fair enough.
No, I did it last year, and it wasn't so bad with the Porsche, but just the biggest thing I've had to learn is the aero of the McLaren and just trusting is it's an amazing car, and just the aero and the grip that car generates is staggering, really, for me who never driven anything quite like it before, but done a lot of simulator stuff to keep me sort of what to expect. And then it's been really good. So the simulator guys in South Melbourne have been really good, and I'll live in there before Clipsal.
It's certainly a bloody good looking car. Very striking with the blue and the red.
Livery, especially, and to have brands like Total Oil and Opticoat, it's a big plus and a big boost for us. So excited to launch delivery on the car in the flesh.
Yeah, exactly. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing it in person. Having Tekno with 1 year under the belt, obviously, and a fair few cars last year through the 12-hour and in the Australian GT is definitely got to give you a bit of confidence with the experience into Clipsal and so on.
Oh, definitely. It sure does. Obviously, having a year under the belt, and actually getting a championship in that first year and a number of race wins is always confident boosting when you go joining a team like that. But also I saw the operation and how firsthand at the Bathurst 12-hour and how McLaren GT come over, and Andrew Cacaldi, who's the managing director of McLaren GT, helps, and his sort of input in the team is really good. And the guys, there's a great bunch of guys at Tekno, and I'm very excited to sort of hit the ground running with them at Clipsal.
Yeah, so I was there last year for Clipsal, but I certainly won't be going back again this year. It was very hot and wet last year, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what do you think about the racing differences? I mean, obviously there's with the GT3 and the Australian GT, you've got a vast array of different cars and then different drivers and different talents and all that sort of stuff. Coming from the Carrera Cup, where you've got exactly the same car, going into that sort of atmosphere, what do you find the biggest difference you think would be?
Yeah, that's obviously going to be a huge one. Is the driving ability of it's going to be the vast difference, and say, for instance, you mentioned Carrera Cup, where it's very, very competitive racing for the pro and the elites, in the Carrera Cup, I know slashes they can drive very well, but you might find yourself in a battle with elites. Or the amateurs, they call it for GT. You could be first, second, or third, right at the front, but. And each car will have its strengths and weaknesses. So it's a challenge. I'm looking forward to it, and I think the biggest thing is obviously there'll be more cars. So just obviously trying to get clear space for qualifying is really imperative.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the size of the grids, I mean, I think just from looking before, there's going to be 10 Lamborghinis from just. One note, like that's a fair few of those alone. So to get to the rest of the field is just going to be insane. But I think the McLarens were very strong last year, so I hope that continues on for you.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. There's some cool updates that the car's going to get, which will make it even more competitive. So which will be in time for Clipsal, which is a big bonus. So very good.
Is there any particular sort of challenges, I guess, that you're hoping to avoid, but it could potentially be a thing during 2017 that you've thought of or you're hoping to avoid or anything like
that? Not really. Nothing I've sort of come on as sort of standing out for me at the moment. Just need to sort of build a relationship with these guys, with the Tekno guys, who are really a good bunch of guys, and to sort of gel with them and put together a really strong year.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely obviously a good base to bring it off. I don't know about yourself, but for me, one of the big bugging points for the Australian GT rounds would be the Melbourne Grand Prix. The way that it's set out, like it's not very ideal for track time or race situations and stuff for yourself. It's so limited, and the stop-start nature of the racing. It was very confusing last year for the general public, I feel, and I just can't see it being any different this year. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that is a bit frustrating, and how the Grand Prix was a bit of a circus. I think the cars that actually finished the race first on the track actually didn't win, if I remember, or something like that. But look, it's something I can't change, and that's part of a GT. If it's hopefully it's changed, but it won't be like that. But look, you got to take everything as it comes, I guess.
Essentially, your job's just to jump in the car and drive the hell out of it and get to the end, and you finish where you finished.
Finish and bring it back in one piece.
That's it.
Are there any other categories you'd like to look at towards the future? Any goals on where you'd like to end up?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I'm really excited about how GT racing is so popular around the world. Hopefully, it continues like this and strives into sort of get more momentum and grows. And it's very exciting with all the different manufacturers building cars for such a great category. And look, I'd love to take GT racing overseas and compete in some of the big endurance races overseas, and see how we go. I'd love to continue. With McLaren, they're a great brand, and I'm really enjoying being part of it, even for such a short time I have been. But it's been really, really good. And so, look, GT racing overseas is definitely my goal.
Yeah. It's a good place to be, because it's even the last few years, it's just coming in leaps and bounds in popularity and sort of awareness. Like even Australia, before it was quite small. You look at the 12-hour even over the past few years, and that's becoming quite a big thing now. So it's it's certainly the right place to be, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just gaining huge momentum, and I think the biggest thing the reason for that is it's because it's just constantly new cars in the field, and it gets people really excited about the whole category. And look, it's really good all the manufacturers being involved, and hopefully everyone stays like that and keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, well, and that's something else as well. Like, although there's new cars all the time, essentially one of the biggest bonuses for you is that, you know, if you decide that you want to go and run in the Spa 24 Hour later this year, you can just fly over there and jump in someone else's McLaren, and it's exactly the same as the one you've got this year.
Exactly right.
And you don't need to worry about flying cars around here and there and all that sort of stuff. So that's definitely a big appeal for a lot of people, I would say.
Definitely.
Well, look, thank you very much for joining us. Obviously, we all hope that you go exceptionally well in 2017. Hopefully, we'll see lots of wins and a championship for you as well.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no worries at all. And again, just thanks very much for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me on here.
So the big announcement there, Combe Ledegar is going to be co-driving for Fraser Ross at Clipsal. I'd just like to say a massive thanks to Fraser for speaking with us. We do appreciate the time he's given us. Thanks to everybody who's joined us for this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it, and of course, please feel free to check out our other podcasts on YouTube or by visiting our website. And last but not least, thank you Ryan and Willie. We look forward to talking to you all next time. Bye for now.